friends, welcome back to Vince and Gigi's Super Channel G, and today we're going to show you how to do a super easy custom of this Skullcrawler from the Godzilla vs. Kong series. Looks absolutely great, and show you, we'll basically tell you where you can get all of this and break it down step by step. So you're not going to want to miss this. So guys, if you've not already subscribed to our channel, please subscribe below. Hit the notification bell next so you're notified every time we have a new video come up. Talk to us in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know where in the world you're watching from, and give us a big thumbs up if you like Godzilla and or Kong and this Skullcrawler right here. So what do you say we go ahead and get started right now?
What is up, Vince and Gigi?
Vince and Gigi, Super Channel G.
Super Channel G.
Gigi.
Vince and Gigi from Super Channel G.
Super Channel G.
Vince and Gigi on Super Channel G.
So tight. Don't stop doing what you're doing.
Congratulations on all your success.
Congratulations on everything.
I will see you on the TV on
Super Channel G. Yeah!
God, is this great!
Alright friends, so welcome back. I'm super excited to tell you how I made this custom Skullcrawler with these items right here. Oops, I'm sorry, I keep shaking our camera. And it was super easy, and that's kind of the exciting part about this, because you can be pretty much any age and or a wide range of ages and still be able to take this, which is cool, it's got a really good base, to this. Isn't that awesome? So to be able to compare the two, I definitely want to zoom on in. And there's not a whole lot we had to do to get it from this to this. And you could honestly probably get it even better than that. But just to make it super simple with as few materials as possible, I wanted to show you. So in order to do that, let's first decide, do you want the back to be removable? Because, let me go ahead and take out the Skullcrawler right here. If you'll notice, this is the one with the battle damage, and it's a, you know, super wicked looking thing right here. Of course, they didn't paint his spines and his ribs right here, but that's something that we can do. Now, for this first Skullcrawler what I did was I just used some of this Loctite super glue. I prefer to use the gel control because it doesn't just run everywhere. You can kind of control where it lands. And then I just kind of lined it all around on here, which I'm going to show you exactly how I did it in a moment. And on this other one, I probably, since both of these will be glued up, I want to be able to have this one removable so that I can see that battle damage. But we'll go ahead and dive on into that in just a moment. So, of course, you get your Godzilla vs. Kong action figure. Get scissors, just cut them out right here. Make it super simple. And let me get my scissors so I can just walk us all the way through. Okay, so here we go. All we need to do is go ahead and cut this right here. Boom. Said boom and I didn't even cut. Okay, pull our Skullcrawler out. And of course his claws are underneath this. You can just pull them out like that. This one, we need to cut this one little tie right here. And then this should just pop right on out. Look at this. This is his back for the battle damage. And then we have our, if I can get it to pop on out, Hollow Earth vehicle right here. So Hollow Earth anti-gravity vehicle. I'm excited about that. But he's not the star of our video today. Just gonna kind of show you who all's in the set. Haven't been able to find this yet, and haven't been able to find this yet. So although on the internet they've shown that some of you have been able to find these, haven't been able to find them yet. So I do have these four plus the two 12-inch ones. So that's what it says right here on the back, just to kind of show that. But again, look, there is a huge difference, and it makes it so much even cooler, right? because you'll actually get that skull action going. Alright. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and build our Skullcrawler just by popping that on there. There we are. Okay, and then this would fit right on over here. And again, this, all you gotta do is, once you have this ready going, you go ahead and just squeeze here, and you line it all around in here, just lightly, just dots. And the only reason I'm not gonna do it right now is because I'm actually gonna paint this first so you can see it. And so you do that, go ahead and pop this on down this way first, and then hold this tight for about 2 minutes. So there you go. Now, since I didn't put super glue, I can just pop it right off, and that's how you do it for whenever you want to reveal the battle damage. So for this one, I'm gonna get a little closer, and I'm gonna show you what else we got. So from Walmart, you're able to get this Waverly Inspiration Super Premium High Performance Semi-Gloss Acrylic Paint from Plaid. It's a Plaid brand. It's ivory. There's the barcode, and I got some other paint on it. It's like gold, but it's not expensive at all. I think it was less than $2 Walmart. I got these folk art paint brushes, and I purposely went for these ones that were angled right here. And right, you'll see that I just washed it, so it's it would normally be pretty smooth right here, but as it's drying, you definitely want to make sure you clean these well so it doesn't separate like that. There we go, as it's drying. And I used this one that says right here, it has the sizes right here, but for this specific one I used a 3/8 inch angle. And the reason why I did that was because of it makes it so much easier for me depending on which angle I'm coming from, and then I can use the absolute point to get really fine details. So none of this is expensive. I think these were less than $10 for a whole set of several, and I think it was 4 that actually came in here, but these were the 2 that I wanted to use the most for this. So materials were not expensive at all, and we're only using 1 color paint. So that's what's gonna make it really easy. And I'm gonna start off by showing you the head, because that's pretty much the most important and difficult part of this all. So I'm gonna again get my brush. I'm gonna pull some of this paint that's right here. I'm gonna pull it closer to the rim like this. I'm gonna do that because I don't want to keep having to dip down deep into there. I want to be able to just get a small thin layer. See, like that. So I don't want to get big globs, and I don't want to get too little. So what I want to do is I'm going to get this pattern. It's going to kind of be like this. You notice how I'm using this tip part, and I'm going to outline what I want to basically what I want to paint, and that way you see how I approach this overall. Okay, I'm going to bring this back down this way, and then this right on over here. Now it's okay if you kind of paint out of it, because we'll go back and we will correct whatever mistakes we can add to it. There's no really right or wrong. If it's slightly further out, slightly more in, it doesn't really matter. It'll be unique to the one you made. So I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much paint this side up. And I'm not gonna go into this hole that's right here. I'm gonna kind of just superficially paint at the surface, see? And it's gonna maintain that painted skull eye look. And look how great that worked. You see that? We didn't even have to paint that, it just stayed that grayish color. And just softly kind of just massage it in right there. Okay, we're gonna go like that with the teeth. And this is our first coat. Depending on how it's coming out and how you want it, we can put several coats, or at least a couple. See, and that's already looking great. So we're gonna color it to about, so now I gotta flip this over again and get some of this paint right here, because I want it on this side that touches. Perfect. There we are. And notice I'm using my pinky to kind of keep it from shaking, and as a good reference point for me to move my brush around. You notice how it gets thicker and the ivory starts coming out a lot cleaner and less streaky as we get more coats coming in. Look at that. Now I kind of like some of the streakiness once you get to a certain point, as long as it just doesn't look like just straight lines. But and this washed look, that way it doesn't look like just one big flat color. It looks like there's actual texture in the skull, see? So, which is also why I might not necessarily get it more than just 2 or 3 coats. So I love the way that looks, and I'm basically going to do a mirror image on the other side. Look how it already looks tons and tons better, right? Okay, so I'm going to bring the mouth open so I can do something similar here. Now, instead of using this side like this, I'm going to use the same side over here, and then switch it up in a little bit. Watch. So from right here, oops, wow, got a whole lot of paint, so you'll learn from my mistake there. I didn't even check my brush before I started painting. It's my fault because I was too busy looking to make sure I had it in the right angle on our recording here on the camera. So cleaning that up just like that. Good. All right. So now's where I want to use it like this. I'm gonna get some more paint right here. This is what I forgot to do a moment ago. Brush some of it off, get a little bit again, and then brush some of it off, and then start coming this way. See that? Have it connect right about here. And again, it's okay if it's not perfect, if it's not completely symmetrical, all of that's okay. So let me get some from the other side so I can bring this right on over here. And much like I brought this from where it was at the eye socket, I'm gonna kind of round it off right here. Look at that, that looks great. And the way the Skullcrawler sculpt is makes it easy to do this. So I'm gonna bring this over here, and I'm gonna kind of just follow the same thing I just did. And feel free to experiment a little bit on what it's like to just kind of touch lightly around the eye socket, and it will. I kind of got some paint over there. That's okay. That's exactly where we're gonna put the paint a little bit. There we go. There we are. And then get us a little bit of paint again. We're gonna bring it right on over here. Look at that. Then we'll inspect it from the top and see how exactly this looks. Because let me tell you, from here it looks great. There we are. So honestly, this is the most important part of your Skullcrawler custom. is this part right here around the eye, and to make it look like a skull. There we are. So I'm gonna bring a second coat of paint right here. Look at that. And looks like I had too much right here where it crests on the top. So I'm gonna try and kind of smooth that out. And there we are. I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit, and we'll come back to that. Okay, so all in all, this will dry pretty quickly. Look at that, and I probably want to bring a little more from over here, like to match that. See? All we gotta do is look from the top and see how symmetrical it is. And again, since it doesn't have to be perfect, you can just kind of follow the textures of the skull, of the mold. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to using this backside right here and do it like this. So I got too much paint on that side. This time I'm checking, and I want to paint these teeth also lightly. I don't want to go further in because I don't want to accidentally paint the tongue. And I'm going to bring the paint to about right here. So let me get a little bit more. Paint to about right here. Looks like I got too much again. And then start bringing the paint underneath like that. There we go. Let's bring that out of the way. And I probably want to bring it all the way down like this. And I can open it up a little bit if I want to kind of put some in there. Again, you don't want to paint the tongue. But look how great that looks. Okay, and I probably want to bring it into about there. So I feel really good about that. And you can really start to see our Skullcrawler come to life. So I'm hoping that you're digging this as much as I am, because I'm so excited to see the Skullcrawler kind of come to life like this. And you see it's very soft hand, you're barely touching it. You barely feel the tension of the brush stroke against our action fig. Look how great that looks already, man. Okay. So let's go ahead and line it up here. And the angle on the brush really helps me out. Okay, so now I'm going to use the other side of the brush so I can very lightly kind of do the same thing. See that? Again, being careful not to go push the bristles too far into the mouth. There we are. And then you know what, maybe I can just push right there on the teeth slightly. Just remember, when you do that, you might bring some paint with you if the paint's still drying. Now this paint dries pretty quick, so just something to keep in mind. And how far do we have? We have it coming down straight from here. Cool. And we will, if we need more paint, we'll bring more paint in. There we are. There we are. Look at that. So we'll let this dry a little bit, and I'll show you the technique that I used for wow, that looks awesome. Look at this. For our claws, it was so easy. So I'm gonna let that dry. So for our claws, you're gonna do the same thing. Now I want it to angle like this and not like that, because I'd have to go like this. So I want to angle like that. I'm gonna bring paint, bring it up like this, and just ever so slightly. Bring it, push it to where the base of the claw is. I keep calling it nail, but claw. And then bring it forward. Look at that. So I can spin it and do the same thing with the other side of the brush. And we'll give this as a base coat. Again, you can push it back and then pull forward. Look at that. And once it dries, it'll be even easier to give it a second coat. Do the same thing. And use the angle to your advantage. Look at that. There we are. So, what are your thoughts, guys? Pretty awesome, huh? So we'd come back once that dries and do the same thing for all of the talons. Let's call them what they are. They're like almost like bird talons, these claws. And there we go. All right. Awesome. And this one's a small one. Simple. Just ever so lightly. Okay, we'll look at the bottom, make sure it's nice and clean across is really what we want to go for. See what I'm doing here? Okay. Perfect for a single coat. So now you got to do it on both sides. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do this really awesome spike coming out of his elbow. So I'm going to get it on this side because I'm going to go like that. Let me get some of the paint off. There we go. And you'll see where the base kind of starts right here. I'm going to do the same thing again. And then right here I want to get in this angle, so I'm going to move the brush this way and the brush this way. See? Again, with my pinky for reference here so that I can control my paintbrush better. Get a nice little base coat right here. Now hold them like this and bring my skull crawler. There we go. Now I want to smooth out if I have too much paint, and I can go over it again and there we are. Smooth out some of that paint. Now I'm going to show you how I basically did the well, on the other one I did have this glued, so I'm just going to show you exactly how I went about coloring these really awesome spines. So I get some paint on there on this side, so I can do it like this, and I kind of just did this. So I'm using my pinky on the other side. And that was it. Brought it down a little bit more. See that? Get me a little bit more paint. Just had this for like a base coat. And then went a little further down. Now, I've made that connect over here to what would be the skull part. Just need a little more paint. That. Just kind of touch and brush down, touch and brush down. Touch and brush down, touch and brush down. Just kind of angle to the side a little bit. See the angle I'm coming down at. And it looks great from this side, but not so much from this side, so then we just flip it over and do the same thing. Use the angle to our advantage. Use pinky right here. There we go. Let me get some of the paint off. Paint's starting to dry. So let's bring some from down here and bring it up a little higher. There we go. Good to see the paint's coming out, you know, cleaner. There we are. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over here as we get into the minor details. Look at that. What do you think? Pretty awesome, huh? Now you can just do the exact same things we did here over here. And you can kind of bring this all the way down to about there. Here's where I brought it down to on this one. You can take it all the way to the tail if you want. Great. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're gonna do for if we decide to leave this one open like this. Not gluing it, we're gonna do something similar. I'm gonna start with where I basically want to outline so we can color inside of that. Notice how whatever the furthest smallest details are, I want to use our point. I can kind of draw with it. You see that? Look. Kind of draw with it. There we go. So I can do that on both sides. Now this middle part is going to be the easiest. But again, I want to come down here and draw. And let the mold of the shape of the spine and the ribs guide you. So I can bring that on to about there. There we are. And notice how it doesn't look great yet. It looks kind of rushed and patchy. But that's fine because you just want that to guide you for the first coat. There we are. And if you have too much paint, spread it out. And look here on this top part, it's going to be easy because you have like what appears to be like 3 ribs right next to each other. There we go. Again, we can get in there by going like this and bringing it down. That's why you want this nice little angular brush for this little project. There we go. And we can do the same by bringing this way. There we go. And you want to try not to bring it all the way down. Perfect. So you can just kind of brush into it. Look at that. Man, it's looking great. You see what I'm doing here, right? You're gonna do this on your figure. Might have to do this like this. It's a harder to reach spot. Cool. Have that, get it down in there. Clean that up. Then we can apply a second coat here. Now it's not fully dry, but you see it's already beginning to work. Look at that. Okay, so you're gonna do the same thing for this side. So I'm gonna just focus on the side we're on. Okay, let's bring some paint up here again. And what I'm doing right now with this paint, I'm gonna be honest, you probably don't want to do it completely like this because the paint will start drying out, because this is not like a really expensive paint, and it's a acrylic one that's gonna start to dry out. So it's better if you put this on, you pour a little bit out and leave the cap on, and just use like on a palette. But we're just having fun right now. We'll bring this up, Bring some of that excess paint off. I had got way too much. And it is starting to get chunky, so that means that I've left this paint open too much. That's alright. I'll get another one. But for you guys, I don't want you to ruin your paint, even if they're not expensive. So get the amount you need on a palette, and you can get a palette or something else to put it on, and they're in the same section. They're super cheap. Doesn't have to be a big one, just something to put your paint on. Okay, look at that. Let's get both sides. Again, where it meets the base right here, you can clearly see the outline from the mold. So just follow that guide. Look at that. And if it looks too fat on some parts, you can either clean it or you can just thicken it out like this. How great is that? There you are. It's easy to paint the part that's sticking out. Look at that. And then you just go to the base. Use the angle of the brush to your advantage. And there you go. You can just clean it up with a little more paint. Since it extends this way, let's get this. And again, go to the base. Use the angle to your advantage. You can do one coat and then add to it. Oop, got a little bit right here, and you can actually just rub it away or clean it off with some soap and water. I'm gonna leave it right there because it's not that big of a deal right now. But get some soap and water. You can actually still just take it off while it's still wet. Okay. And so on this one, just go down to the base and continue to use that as your guide. Look at that. Not bad, huh? You're gonna find this was a lot easier than you thought, and I think you're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. Oh, did it again. See, I just came right off. Did it again. But how awesome is that? So I'm looking at the way they made these ribs and the way that this one kind of curves that way. Looks like I painted it crooked, but I didn't. Look how it's actually a crooked looking bone. So we can go back, we can touch all these up. You want to start by making sure the middle is good. And then touch them all up. How's that? So when this pulls off, it's like... But that's pretty much it, guys. So once you're done, you figure out how you want this, whether or not you want this on there glued permanently. And since I have several, I'm gonna leave that like that. Make sure you take care of your paint and your brush. Again, I'm sorry I forgot to mention because I was just gonna do it quickly. But you wanna go ahead and just use only the paint you need. You could do exactly what I was showing you to do on the rim by just doing it on the paint that you have on your palette. So forgive me for teaching bad habits, because that's what that was. But nonetheless, this was the paint that I used for this. This is the brush I used for this. And this one's incomplete, but this one will show you exactly what it looks like when it's done. And we're gonna do that to all of them. How awesome is that? So again, was a great base character to start off with. But if you'll notice, our Skullcrawler paint for both of these, it's a little bit different. And although it's a little bit different, you can't really tell. It looks just awesome on both. So the only other part I might be forgetting is to be very careful when you're doing the inside of the teeth. So what you're gonna want to do is this, and I'm so glad that I remembered before I wrapped it up, but I'm gonna zoom in so that you can see what I do here. So you're gonna want to do this and just angle that out from here. You see that? Make sure you don't go any further than the tooth. And that's pretty much it. Get enough paint to do this and brush it out, not in. Out, not in, and up, not down. That way you do not accidentally paint the tongue. If you accidentally paint the tongue, you know, you will be able to fix it. But this definitely gives it an even more authentic, cool look, and you can do the same for the top. Look at that. So, whoops, I was looking at what I was painting and not the screen. But you can definitely do that. And this paint that's caking on my paintbrush, that's not good. That means I need to go rinse it off and wash it off because it's starting to cake and starting to dry on there. But your Skullcrawler won't take very long to dry. You can leave it drying overnight, but it'll probably dry within minutes, honestly, with acrylic paint. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us here today. Let me know if you liked this simple, easy custom, and if you'd like us to do more on any of the other figures. So guys, again, thank you for watching Vince and Gigi Super Channel G. We'll be seeing you soon. Check back on our YouTube channel for more great videos like this. Can't wait to see Godzilla vs. Kong. And depending on when you're watching this video, we recorded it in February. It is Valentine's Day. And depending on when you're watching this, it's probably already come out and it's probably amazing because I can't wait to see it. But talk to us in the comments below, guys. We'll be seeing you soon. Peace.